Welcome back to my channel. Very excited to share another episode with you, and today's topic is choosing friends. But before we go into details, I'd love to share my initial opinion about what I've been doing so far. I have to mention that I thought it would be a little bit easier to sit here in front of these two cameras with a bunch of lights pointing at me, but it turns out it's not that easy. There's something that as soon as I sit here makes me kind of freeze and forget about what I'm supposed to be talking about. Even though I am generally a very confident person and I don't have any kind of reservations about most things that I have to do, but this turned out to be a bit of a challenge. So I'm well aware that my first episodes are not coming out the greatest. After watching reruns, I have to say that I am not even communicating 50% of what I was initially hoping to get across from me, but this will improve with time. These cameras will kind of disappear, the lights will sort of blend with the ambience, and it will get better. But it's a learning curve. Well, by the way, I have a new audio and a very fancy holder for my audio, so don't ask questions, it just happened to be a perfect height. And I also have some materials to look at, just in case I'm going off the topic. So, before we go actually into the main topic, which is choosing friends, I'd love to share with you a very exciting point of this video, which is bringing out advertisers. So, going to my second advertising partner, I'm proud to introduce to you my new advertiser, Shady Onion Farms. Well, as the name says, they grow onions. And no onion is good until it comes from Shady Onion Farms. For your convenience, they come half peeled, half sliced, so they are ready to go. They are very good. I was just thirsty. Thank you, Shady Onion Farms, for bringing your product to the channel. It's delicious. Maybe another sip. Whew. Okay. So, choosing friends. Why do we have to talk about it? What's the big deal? Don't they just kind of line up at some point of our life? They just come in based on where we live, where we go, and then it all falls into place. Kind of in a way, but let's examine what being a friend actually means. We loosely called everyone that we get to know a little bit more than once or twice a friend. But I think there is a little bit more to it, or a lot more to it. I think a friend is not just the person that we occasionally meet. It should be a person that does a lot more. Not only that we interact more often, but also it is the person who can bring us comfort, bring opinion, be reliable. This is the person that we would call at 11 p.m. or 2 a.m. when we have emergency, and we know that person will show up or do everything in power to help us, and vice versa, because it never works one way. It should only work both ways. And there's another aspect of being a friend that I personally value the most, which goes back to our initial conversation, initial topic, which is self reflection and healthy self critique. I think a friend is also a person that is gonna provide that for us. So when we go off the rails, when we start doing weird things, start behaving strangely, and no one wants to mention to us because they are scared, afraid, or they just don't care, or they play along, I think our true friend is the person who actually will stop us, pull us to the side and say, hey, you know, I let it go, but now you've gone too far. How about you take a break and think about it? Is this really the way to go? Is this really the way to talk? Is this the direction of where you want to go? So that is extremely valuable. That's another thing that I personally value in a friend, because honesty is the most important thing. So let's go back in how it all starts. Generally when we are in school, we choose friends because we go to the same school. We hang out maybe in the neighborhood because they live right there. And it's just convenient. But, at that point, it may not be really friends. It may be just play friends. It's people that we interact with because we have good time. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we move along in our life and we leave the school time behind and we go into our career, work, profession, time of life, it all changes. I think the meaning of a friend, the true value of a friend, really excels at that point. And especially when we start a family. So as we get way busier with our life, responsibilities come, parental responsibilities come. Why do we still need friends? Why is it so important? Well, there's a lot going on in our life, and to keep a healthy lifestyle, healthy perspective on what's going on all around us, I think we need a lot of things happening, more or less, to give us a normal, healthy perspective. We need outlets, we need hobbies, but we need friends, we need people to interact with. And I'm not saying that having colleagues, people to just have fun with is not important, obviously, because we need that time. We need to sometimes just be a little bit crazy, funny, goofy. There's nothing wrong with that. But if our interactions outside work and family are only goofing around, and they just go deeper and deeper into it, and then we cross certain lines, maybe we've gone too far. Maybe we also need someone who actually has a reality check conversations with us about where we're going, how we're feeling. Because that's needed too. Not only the fun time, but also the time that we reflect about our life with someone outside the family circle. Maybe we need someone to bring a third person perspective, someone who is not in our household. That is healthy, that's fresh, and we should definitely welcome. So what is a really great friend? A great friend is kind of a combination of all of those things. I think that's could be one person, two, several. I don't think we can have many friends because it's unrealistic, and generally if we do know a lot of people, they are usually fun friends, play friends, not the friends that we can rely on and definitely count on their opinion on. But if we happen to have someone like that, that is actually priceless, because not only we can escape our everyday chore reality and meet with that person. Maybe do something fun, maybe do something active, maybe goofy, funny, all of the above. And yet, we can sit down and have that normal but deeper conversation. Where are we going? How are we feeling? Maybe that person can put us back in a healthier environment, because if we've gone too far, we've been depressed about something, and we haven't been processing things the right way. This is the job of the friend. If the friend is true friend, he will or she will tell us, listen, hey, well, maybe this is not the way you should be doing things. Maybe this is not how you should be thinking. And what do? This is the point that we have a chance to either listen, think, appreciate, and of all of the information that we are given by our friend, and make some good changes about our lives based on what we hear. Or we can act the way we often act and get a little bit upset, get maybe like, ooh, I don't need to hear it, get defensive about it. Because, well, I'm doing okay, I'm feeling fine. Why would you step on my backyard and criticize me? Maybe this is exactly what we need. But our reaction is often like to, oh, that's going a little bit too far into my circle. If this is the approach that you have, it may not be healthy. It may not be the best thing for you to do, because if you happen to have that great friend in your life who does all the fun things, all the nice things, but yet he or she is able to sit down with you and call you out on your wrongs and explain to you, and you become defensive, you start turning away, maybe this is a warning signal for you that, wow, you don't want to do that. You want to really stop and listen. You will maybe discover something about yourself that you can't see, you can't hear it. Or maybe this is something that is in line with what your spouse is telling you about yourself. And it's hard to hear it again, because you feel like you are trapped. There are two sides picking on you. But maybe they are picking for the good. Maybe they have noticed things that you just can't notice yourself. So, yeah, I think this is a huge picture what true friends really mean. Because, hanging around, having good time, once in a while, it's all fun, but we need that person, not only to call at 3 a.m. for emergency, and vice versa. Remember, it always works both ways. So when they call at 2 a.m. for emergency, you should step into the play too. But also respect your friend's opinion, especially if they disagree on something and they mean good for you. Maybe they have a point, the point you can't see anymore, the point you kind of lost, and maybe they are trying to put you back on the track. So step back, think, breathe. Maybe this is the role you have that best friend for. And also, a lot of us may be going through tough time with our spouses. There are things that we stop talking about to our spouses. We don't feel comfortable anymore. We just can't. But there's this friend that is still able to talk to us. We can go on with those difficult topics. We can express ourselves. We can communicate things that we no longer can with our spouse. maybe this is a way to go back in, because if that friend fails with us, who else is left? Well, I mean, some turn into therapy. Maybe there's a way out in medication. I don't personally believe. I truly believe that most of us have enough strength in us that we need. But definitely, if we combine what we have with the power of friendship, and we can honestly judge ourselves and look into our thoughts in a healthy way, that we can honestly admit, whoa, I've been wrong. And we can pause and start redoing, repairing things. We don't need a lot of those outside things. But we have to change a lot. Our lifestyle, our habits, our time management. Remember putting away that phone, going for a walk around, bike ride, workout. So, times are busy, yeah, but things have not changed much. We need a lot of good things around us. And remember, a good friend is hard to come by. So, if you have one, you have fun with, but that friend sometimes gives you good reality check. Pause, listen, because that may be the best thing that has ever happened to you outside your family circle. Thank you. Till next time.